In the words of the great Boys in Motion, just be smart, be prepared. You won't be scared as long as you're ready. Hello, darlings. Welcome to AM to PM, your weekly reality check, your weekly survival guide with your favorite chocolate vanilla swirl with cookie crunch. Please, it's Anna Marie. Hi, how are you? Long time no see. You guys have been busy. You guys have been working, and the podcast had to just rest for a little bit. But we're back, baby. Always better than ever, and we're about to get stuck into the nitty gritty, the ins and outs of successes and the struggles, the naughty and the nice of everyday life. So let's get stuck in. First things first, I've got a cuppa. I've got a cup of tea. We're doing something healthy. We've got cleanse matcha. It's by Twinings. It's like green tea with matcha. Matcha is green tea, but it's like matcha and green tea. And to the person who doesn't know the difference, they will scam you. But it's just green tea. It's nothing fancy. Just trying to cleanse my gut, keep my, my body working as we should. And I hope you grab some tea too. Grab a drink, grab a snack, because this is about to be a very fulfilling episode. Chin chin. This week's episode is surviving love and dating. And what's inspired me to make this episode is because in the last week, I have seen about 70 million engagements, proposals, people getting married, people in relationships. And I'm like, what the hell is in the air? Cupid was shooting at people, but Cupid didn't shoot me. And that's okay, because I don't want to be shot right now. I'm very, very content in my life. But I just love. But I also love dating and having fun and just being in this era, this like hot girl, single girl, pre-30s, I don't give a F era in my life. And I am enjoying it. I really, really am enjoying it. And us girls, we chat. We have conversations with our friends, what we're talking about. Oh, but he doesn't do this, but I want him to do that. And I like this one, but he's broke. And it's like, okay, dating is so much more simpler than you think it is. And you can make it exactly what you want it to be. You don't have to abide by no rules. I mean, even though I'm about to give you some rules, you don't have to listen to them. You just pick and choose what you want and make your life as fabulous as you want it to be. Period. For me, it's important for us, or women that look like me, women that are my age, for us to have these kind of conversations, because I feel like the internet is rooted, it's either like deep religious or it's like sprinkle. And what about the in between? So I am here to fill that gap. And a bit of personal tea. I was dating someone at the start of this year, very, very briefly, but lovely guy, liked him a lot. And I decided that I didn't want to date him anymore. I knew in my heart, I knew that in my gut, that this isn't the person that I want to be with long term. And, it led to a sad breakup, even though we weren't in a relationship. But, when you got to end the relationship, end the pre-relationship, the dating phase. And I'm very proud of myself for doing so, because as much as like this guy's feelings were hurt, I knew that, and I made a promise to myself, like, I am not going to be one of these women that are on TikTok that you see their man is buying all these trucks and buying houses and he's not proposed to you. And he's not put your name on the lease. He's not bought you on, you're still driving the same raggedy car that you got in 2005. And he's got a new upgrade. And what are you there doing? You're there hanging up nice curtains and flowers in his house that you pay rent for, but your name is not on the lease. I will never be one of those women. And I know you say never, or never say, oh, it can never be me, but it could absolutely never be me. And you have to be smart when you're dating. You have to let your intuition guide you, and you have to just Have all your eyes open, because it's very, very easy to end up in a situation where you are dissatisfied. And this is what we're going to talk about today, because all of my girls, I want us to thrive. I want us to be sexy. I want us to be making money. And that's exactly what this podcast is here for. Before we crack on the topic of relationships, I want to give a quick shout out to Stack Games. This is a Black-owned, British-owned, London-based card game company. I initially bought their original cards like many years ago, maybe about 3 years ago, called Pleasure Stacks. And it's just like confession cards that you play with your lover, you play with your friends. And they kindly sent me their new deck, which is called I Think We Can Go a Bit Deeper. And it's just playing card games that ask questions that make you just a little bit more thought-provoking, make you go a little bit deeper. And, it's a great bonding tool. So I am going to pull a question. I just love these cards. I love the color of them. I love the texture of it. It slides. I'm such a sensory girl. I love the minute details. I love, just like the little touches of luxury that just add to your daily experience. And these cards, they feel like an orgasm. Let me pull a card. Okay. He says, do you believe in soulmates? And if so, do you think you have met yours? I love intellectual questions. Is this even an intellectual question? This is like a spiritual question. I'm on the left side of the spectrum. You know that. So anything to do with soulmates, twin flames, all of that stuff, this is my bag. Yes, I do believe in soulmates. I believe that you can have multiple soulmates. I believe that you can have multiple people who you've met in the past life and reconnect with them in your current life. I believe that. I believe that I met my twin flame last year and he was an asshole. And but he was my twin flame for sure. I don't think he knows that he was my twin flame, but we had the same birthday. Our personalities were alike. And twin flames, people often conflict twin flames with, that's supposed to be your life partner. That's not supposed to be your life partner. You're a twin. They are you. You are them. It's a mirror of you. And he really showed me all the negative traits I have within myself, because he was the C word. I was about to say it, but I'm trying to keep it clean now. He wasn't a great guy. But anyways, back to soulmates. Yes, I would love to meet my soulmate. There are some times when I romanticize things, when I'm having a deep chat with a man, and this has happened quite frequently. Recently, in the last couple of months, like I'll just bump into someone on occasion, 2 different guys, and we'll just chat. We'll just talk, and we'll talk about breaking generational curses. We'll talk about our blackness. We'll talk about our careers and our life purpose. And that stuff makes me sweat, make me holler. That stuff, like, just, having where like the minds are connecting and we're just chatting about our like personal experiences. Hey, that's easy way for me to think like, maybe this is my man. Maybe this is my soulmate. I'd like to think I haven't met my soulmate yet, because my heart is still yearning. She's so annoying. Like, girl, get a grip. We're supposed to be hot girls. But yeah, my heart is still yearning for my soulmate. So no, I don't believe that I've met him. But I have had very, very insightful experiences with the opposite sex, with friends too. I do believe that some of my friends, like I love them like I would a soulmate. So yeah, that was a long answer, but it does say don't forget to expand on your answer. And I guess this is like a bonding tool. So shout out to Stack Games. Thank you for sending me these cards. I will be sure to play them next time I'm out with my peoples. And make sure you get yours. Lesson 1. Are you compatible or is he just cute? That is a question everybody needs to ask themselves. First things first, let go of these attractive men, okay? Let go of these pretty ass men who know that they are beautiful and can grab any gal, because they're not going to honor you. I'm not sure what that accent was, I'm sorry. They're not. Any man, because they know that they have the whole world in their hands. Listen, I'm an attractive woman, and my mindset is always like, I could do better, because I know I can, because I know that multiple people are attracted to me. And you think if a man thinks like that, it's 10 times worse. Me, I choose not to engage with people. I don't bother unless he's spending money. But these men, attractive men, have women women will do things for them. Women will cook for them. Women will let them live rent free. Women will wash their feet and their batty, because he's just so beautiful and you can't help yourself. And we need to break their curses, sis. If I'm going to give advice to anybody, just don't even go for the cute man. Go for like a schmedium man. A man who's attractive to you, but not attractive to everybody. Okay? No Eurocentric features and all of that stuff. Just a man who you think is handsome enough that you want to like wake up next to that face, and maybe you want half your children to look like half of him. You know, that's all. But don't go for the pretty type. Just don't do it to yourself. All right? You'll thank me later. I think it's very easy, especially when you're younger, to be attracted to someone or want to be with someone just based on looks. But there might not be any substance there. As you're getting older, your values change. I'm speaking from a perspective of later on down the line, at some point, I'm going to want a life partner and I want someone to start a family with. So your values and your perception of things have to change. This is why I'm saying don't go for the pretty boy. Because the pretty boy knows that he has time. He's going to look at Leonardo DiCaprio. Man is, 50 now? Late 40s, 50s, still dating the 25-year-old things. Because he can. Even though he doesn't look as cute as when he was Jack in Titanic, or when he was in Romeo and Juliet, he was so pretty. He's still handsome, but he's not got the same, you know what I mean? But he can still get gal. And that's what you don't want. Because men like that will never marry. Or they'll marry quite late. Look at George Clooney, for example. But he's a different kettle of fish. We won't talk about him. Anyways, what's important when you're embarking on your dating journey is to know what kind of values you want. What are you actually looking for in a partner, in a life? If you're thinking about creating a life with another human, what does that look like? First and foremost, what do you want your life to look like? And if there's another person involved, whether it be a man or a woman or, I don't know, a cat, what does that life look like? And I always say, get your notebook, get your pens and paper, because you want to write it down or type it up, because it needs to be clear to you. So you need to know what traits you are looking for in that person. Dating is beyond physical attraction. If you're looking to have some fun, if you're looking to scratch an itch, have a good time, sure, go for the pretty ones. Go for the physical attraction. But I do believe that attraction can grow over time. The more that you like someone, if they stimulate you in other ways, you learn to find the beauty in things. Like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You learn to find or become attractive to that person in due time, which is totally fine. But if you are looking for long-term compatibility, long-term stability, you need to be thinking about shared goals, life goals, your individual goals, interests, hobbies, communication styles, attachment styles. Culture is important. That's something that I'm recognizing is quite important to me. Having a familiarity. Are these things important to you? So it's important to be able to communicate with your partner. The more time that you spend with them, the longer that you date them, the longer you become comfortable with them, pry and ask questions. Okay, so if we have children in the future, how do you want to raise them? Do you want to live on a farm? Or do you want to be a city boy forever? Ask all these important questions, and then you can weigh up and see whether this is a person who's the right match for you, because there is just no point in just sticking with someone whose life values are completely different to yours, especially when it comes to things like religion and spiritual practices. Those things can be conflicting. Unless one person is willing to convert, hey, that can be a problem. So make sure you are doing your due diligence. Ask the right questions. You don't have to be mean about things, but find out who this person truly is at their core, and if they align with you and the life that you want for yourself. Lesson 2. Be more open-minded and get down with the swell. Let's get down with the trumpets. Yeah. Let's get down with the trumpets. Yeah. What's that song even about? Rizzle kicks were just... Remember Rizzle kicks? Rizzle kicks were very nonsensical, but they did quite well. And that's the kind of life that I need. I need to be doing amazing nonsense and make money from it. That's what I aspire to do in life. Anyways, yes, get down with the swell, sis. I'm lucky I have such open friends and progressive friendships, and I'm around people who are very just cool, very like supportive, and are like, yeah, if you want to try that, if you like it, I love it, kind of thing. And I'd be having my kikis with my girls, and we are all on this white man flex. I can't lie. I was having a chat with a friend of mine. Shout out Nate if you're watching this. And he was talking to me because he's in a relationship, and he was like, oh, what are you looking for? Da, 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 da. And I was telling him like what I want and the struggles that I've been having with men, and black men in particular. And he's like, oh man. He was like, please be with a black man. So many black men are like, nah, you gotta be with a black man. Like, you can't disgrace us. You can't move to the other side. But I will go. I will follow him wherever he may go. I will go to the other side. I'm already on the other side. I'm sorry. I know that there are black men now who will hear this and will never want to touch me ever again, or never want to involve themselves with me again. It's fine. It's okay. Because my princess treatment, my happy life, the white men, listen, ladies, if you want princess treatment, or if you just want a different level of respect or experiences, go and date a white man. I hate to be that guy. I hate to be that guy, but you need to just dip your toe in that pond, because in my experience, some of the white guys that I have dated, so loving, so nice, so just like responsive and invested and nurturing and protective. Whereas I've dated their black counterparts, same age, maybe different industries, and it's like drawing like water from a stone sometimes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because most of them come from like 2-parent households and they don't have the generational trauma that we do, but I feel like you should try. Just at least once. Just date a white man. Okay? Or if you're not attracted, date someone outside of your race date someone out of your race and just see what's out there. I also think it's important to have people around you who look different to you anyway. To connect with people, work with people, have friends, and spend time with people who don't look like you, because that just helps you be more worldly. It helps you be more cultured and just understand how the world works and different mindsets. I'm all for that. So you know what? Maybe just give Andrew a try. Give James a try. Give Danny a try, you know? You'll probably have a fantastic time. And don't get me wrong, this is not to put white men above black men. Because there are some white men who are crackheads. Literally and figuratively. Like, you know, not everything that glitters is gold. The grass isn't always greener. But just for the experience, you know, and if you are going to date outside of your race, make sure he has money. We don't like, I'm more willing to settle for, actually, we're not settling. Let me just take that word out my vocabulary, but I'm more willing to tolerate and be more patient with a black man who is under earning than with a white man who is under earning, because you're white, you have power, you have privilege. There's no reason for you to be poor. There's just actually no reason for you to be poor. Sorry. Anyway, I digress. Aside from dating outside of your race, being open-minded in general really will take you a long way in life. And I think it's important to keep an open mind and give people a chance, because you might have not a meaty first date with someone or meaty interaction with someone. But if you're open, you have a conversation, again, communicate, maybe go on a second date, a third date, that person might really open up and you'll see another side to them, and you could probably have the best time. I don't take that advice though, because I'm quick. I don't have the energy. You have one shot. So make it count. You might never get this moment again. You have one shot to impress me. If I'm not kicking in on the date, if I'm not smiling, if I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, my fingers, then I'm sorry, we won't be meeting again. Unless you put money in my account. Sometimes people might not meet your criteria immediately. Again, going back to the whole pretty boy thing, you might not be attracted to him at first, but you know, a couple of chit chats later, spending some quality time afterwards, you might realize, oh, you know what, I really, really like this person. And it's great to just have a positive outlook on life and on dating. It's very easy to go down this wormhole of being like, oh, men are trash. Women are trash too, you know. Everybody has trash tendencies. You just got to pick which one you want to, you know, compromise on. It's also really important to enjoy the journey of dating, of getting to know someone, because that person might not end up being your life partner, but they could be a really good friend. They might be a good business partner or someone to network off, or, you know, you just never know what can happen in life, rather than focusing on the end destination of like marriage. And I know some people are like, I'm dating to marry. Cool, you do you. But I think it's important to not write people off so early on, and I may or may not take that advice on myself. Find out next episode. Lesson number 3. What are your intentions? Are you looking for a sugar daddy, or are you looking for a husband, a providing husband? Emphasis on providing. Because when I re-embarked into the dating world, you know, my mindset, right? I don't think the way the average woman thinks. I think about money. I think about, what can I get from this situation? How can I make this benefit me? Because in my previous dating life, prior to this moment, I was doing so much for this man and getting nothing in return. I was giving myself for free. So now, with the help of Shira 7 and all the queens out there that are doing the Lord's work, I will never settle. I will never break my back for a man ever again. But that can be confusing, because I know I like it when men spend money on me. I like it when a man is comfortable in his life and he can just give. He's generous. Whatever I want, I got it. Throw it in the bag. Right? That's the kind of life that I love, and that's the life that I want to live. But it's very, very tricky when you're dating men your age, or just, you know, average Joe men who aren't sugar daddies or aren't tricks, and they are just generous, but your mentality is like, okay, how am I going to get the money? I find it so difficult. I found it so difficult to play that game. But what I realized, that it's just an energy. It's just an energy. I know that I want to receive. I love to receive as much as I give. I give a lot, but I love to receive from my man. And it's okay to have those mindsets going into a regular vanilla, quote unquote, relationship. You just have to be very, very clear and upfront at the start that you want, or you would prefer if you were provided for in this way, and these are your rules, these are your boundaries, and you've got to stick to them, because men, they love to play games with us. They love a challenge. You have to be the one to stick to your boundaries. Communication is so key in modern dating. Whether you're a texter, you're a FaceTimer, you're a phone call, link up in person, it is very, very important. And we have so many tools now to help you communicate and to understand the psychology of humans and relationships. It is very, very key that you are clear about what you want, who you are, and what you are looking for. Whether you're looking for something casual or long term. I find sometimes if people are looking for something casual, they don't feel as if they need to be as vulnerable, or they don't need to be as honest or open, because this is just a fling to them. This is just something minor to them. But it's those situations that require the most communication, because the lines are blurred. It's very easy to get your feelings hurt if you're playing one game and they're playing another. So it's important to just have a level playing field, put it all out on the table. This is what I want. This is what I'm willing to compromise on. If so, have those chats. And being upfront about your intentions really, really avoids any kind of misunderstanding, any kind of potential argument, or people falling out, or people playing games, and ensures that you and your partner are on the same page. I know where I went wrong with the guy I was telling you about that I dated for a short period of time, that I had to break up with. I knew that I came into that situation and my intentions was to get to know him, just to, spend some time, enjoy his company. And then we both caught feelings, and I knew that wasn't, so then my intentions changed, but I knew that wasn't really what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to stick with my original intentions, which was to just enjoy the moment, date him briefly, and just continue living my life the way that it was. And what made the breakup difficult, I would say, probably in his perspective, is that my intentions changed. My intentions changed from I'm just here for fun to I like you, to me being again like, no, I actually would prefer to not continue with this. And that can be confusing, that can be misleading. It's always important to be checking in and having these conversations and making sure that you're clear about what you want before you continue to move forward with someone. Lesson 4, you call the shots. You are in control. You're powerful. You're wise. You're intuitive. You run things. So don't ever settle for less, or don't ever put yourself in situations that are compromising. And one thing I find with women, we do this especially when I'm having my chin wags with them, is I find that women, we can settle. We will fall in love with the local bin man because he's a nice guy. We will stay and we will stay being hopeful with the guy that's doing us dirty because he's a nice guy, or because maybe he'll change. No, You know how they say, if he wanted to, he would. I believe in that principle to an extent, but if he can, then he should. And some men just don't. Some people will show you the evidence in your face, and you will still make excuses for them. I find that women, especially if you're underdeveloped, meaning in your teens, your early 20s, you haven't dated too much, don't have that much experience, it is so easy to twang you. Meaning it is so easy for you to fall for words and not the action. It is so easy for you to just go along with a ride. For one, him being attractive, or he has access to resources, he has money, or he's a nice guy or whatever, or you just need companionship and you will choose to stay in that situation. It is important, before you enter any relationship dynamic, before you start dating, you need to have a high level of self-worth and self-confidence. Meaning, you know thyself. I say this in every single episode. Know thyself. Meaning you can spend some time alone and be comfortable. Meaning you know how your mind works. You know your values. You know your strengths. You know your weaknesses. You know what you enjoy. You have hobbies, you have friends, you have a life. These are all the things that will contribute to your sense of self-worth and confidence. So you need to make sure that before you're engaging with any kind of partnership or whatever romantic situation, you need to have your own. You need to have your own healthy lifestyle. You need to have your own sense of self. You need to have your own happiness, because going out there and looking for it in this dusty man who all he's giving you is, maybe he makes you laugh a couple of times, but he's there in your house and he's not contributing anything. When you're there, you're making excuses. You're making excuses. Please, these are grown adults. Grown adults are capable. And again, especially if this is a white man, if this is a Caucasian man and he's just choosing to do nothing with himself, that's his fault, or his family's fault for not taking more of our resources. That's a conversation for another day. I think relationships turn out so much better when the woman has a very strong sense of self and she knows what she wants, she knows who she wants, and she sets that tone and she maintains the tone. Because it's so easy, once we fall in love or once we get a little dicky, we let all of the rules go out the window. And you need to play chess, not checkers, honey. You need to maintain that queen position at all times. You don't see the queen rushing around the chessboard doing all of these moves. No, that's for the pawns. That's for the knight. That's their job. The queen stays down. She sets the rules. So you need to remember that for yourself. As I'm getting older, I know there's all this fear mongering for women of like, oh, you're getting older, like time's ticking, you got to think about your fertility, you got to think about settling down, all of that stuff. And I really don't have those fears as much as I did, because I know that my standards are just on a fantastic level, and the life that I currently create for myself is so impeccable that the person who comes into that has to match me and then some. And I'm not prepared to just settle for this brother who doesn't wash his bum or wash his legs just to have a man in my life. And I think a lot of you need to take lessons from that. Just from what I know, women will just stay because, oh, we've been together for this many years. Oh, he does this, he does that. Nah. Listen, we're in the age of Aquarius. This is the age of freedom. This is the age of joy, of expansion. You need to get with the program. Don't settle. And don't break your own rules for no man that's not paying. Let's move on. Last point. Be smart, be safe. In the words of the great Boys in Motion, Just be smart, be prepared. You won't be scared as long as you're ready. Just be smart. I sung this in one of my other videos on my Instagram, and I went back to go watch the music video. If you know the Boys in Motion, you're a real one. If you know Boys in Motion, give me a thumbs up and comment, yes, we are the Boys in Motion. We give you our devotion in the comments, so I know you're a real one. But honestly, people are mad. Honestly, truly, if you're trying to date in these modern streets, people are crazy. I'm not on the dating apps currently because I just hear that it's the Wild West out there, or it's dry. And me, I don't even really be texting people back. For me to go on a whole app and now be ching with people that I don't know, like, oh, I don't have the strength for it. And you don't know who you're meeting until you meet them. So it's important to be vigilant. Avoid getting catfished. I don't know how catfish is still running as a TV show because technology has advanced. We're well beyond the early 2000s and 2010s when you didn't know you were getting catfish. You can FaceTime people. Don't allow yourself to get twanged. Okay? Proceed. Online dating, if that's your thing, or in-person dating, meeting people. You can meet someone who appears to be nice on the roads and you go and date them and they're crazy, or they try and lure you into some situation or recruit you for their cult. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, so you need to be super smart, super vigilant. And yeah, online dating is great because it gives you far more options. It allows you to meet people who you probably wouldn't meet in person in everyday life. But it is just important to just, be safe and be realistic. And of course, you have the option to fine tune and filter about like exactly who you want, but not everyone is who they appear to be. So just be careful. And if you are gonna go meet up with someone off a dating app, meet them in public, meet them in daytime, meet them for lunch. Sure, if you want to go straight for dinner, cool, do that, but make sure it's somewhere where there's going to be a lot of people. Make sure you're paying attention to your exits and all of those things. I know there's this thing called Angela, speak to Angela. If you're feeling unsafe at a bar, I think it's rolled out all around the UK, so most bar staff should know it. If you do feel unsafe, you can go speak to the bartender, ask for Angela, and they'll get you out of that situation swiftly and safely. But I think it's also important to just be in that talking stage. Don't rush into doing all love up. I'm seeing a lot of stories online, people like, we married in 6 months. Wow. I don't know if I could ever do that. My heart, the romantic nature of me is like, I would love to just meet someone, know that they're the person, and then we get married and that's it. But people are mad. Let's not forget the Risa Tisa situation. Let's not forget Risa Tisa. My girl got twanged. She married this man. Everything was serendipitous. Everything was perfect. He was providing. He was doing all of these things for her. Turns out the man was a scammer. He had nothing. He was a fraudster, an F-boy, if you will, a grown man F-boy. And she got sucked into that. Luckily, she got out of it when she needed to. But it's so easy if you're not reading in between the lines, if you're not asking questions, if you're not doing your Googles and finding out mutuals and things like that. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, because love is love. And I believe that there are good people out there, but there are also crazy people. So just take your time. Don't be afraid to ask the right questions. Don't be afraid to ask people if they have any felonies, if they've ever been to jail. A question I ask now on dating, when I go on a date is, so, do you have a girlfriend or a wife? Do you have kids? Don't assume because a man is on a dating app and he's agreed to go on a date with you that he's single. Hello, these people will be in full-blown relationships and just not say anything. I went on a date recently and I asked the guy, so like, do you have kids, whatever? Yeah, I've got a 1-year-old. Oh, I would have never known that if I didn't ask the question. You think he was going to tell me? You need to be smart. You need to be 2 steps ahead at all time. That man would have never told me, just by like the look in his eyes. I knew he was never gonna tell me, or maybe he would have told me at a later date that he had a child, which isn't a problem. If you've got a kid, you have a kid, but be upfront about that. And sometimes as women, we don't not ask the right questions. So ask them. Ask them if they're married. Ask them if they've been divorced. Ask them if there's anyone in their life who assumes that they are in a relationship with them, because these people have secrets, and you just don't want to get trapped into any kind of nonsensical nonsense. And something that you should really learn to honor is your intuition, your gut feeling. Remember how I said that I broke up with that guy? My intuition was telling me. Actually, I prayed about it. Funny story. I prayed about it. I was laying next to him and I prayed about it. I was like, is this my person? And I heard it loud as day. No. But during the time that we were spending together, there were multiple signs, little inklings that told me, no, this isn't your person. And that doesn't mean that the person's a bad person. It's just that this person is for you or that person is not for you. So trust your intuition. If your gut is wrenching and it feels like, I don't feel comfortable with that, please voice that. Please don't end up in any kind of harmful situation. Always try and be ahead at all times. But with that being said, have fun. Allow yourself to just, enjoy the moment, kiki, enjoy your meal or whatever you decide to do. And, be open to having a fantastic experience. But also, crazy. So we are still on the road to 10,000 Instagram followers and 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you are listening on streaming platforms, please give a thumbs up, give us a 5-star, head over to youtube.com/Annamarie.dee and hit the red button. Subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Insta and TikTok. Follow me on there too. Secondly, I have a Patreon account. So if this episode isn't enough for you, you need extra mini-sodes where I go more in depth, where I talk a little bit more about my personal life, where I give you a little bit more tea, then head over to patreon.com/Annamarie.dee for just £5 a month. You can get extra episodes, you get voting power, and you can chat to me directly. So head over there. Right, now it's time to answer your dilemmas. I'm so excited about this. We haven't done this in a long time, so I am just so excited to get stuck right on in. Okay, dilemma 1. Dilemma 1. My boyfriend stinks. That's all it says. That is all it says. It says, my boyfriend stinks. I know whoever wrote that was probably pissed off in the moment. Was probably in their feelings about that in the moment and just couldn't get anything else out. And they just put, my boyfriend stinks. I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say to that. If your boyfriend stinks, you have got to, tell him straight up, listen, babes, I love you. You love me. But I'm concerned about your personal hygiene. I'm concerned because I'm a very clean person. And I wear deodorant. I wear deodorant with aluminium in it. Because it's all fine and dandy to be on the natural. Listen, natural deodorant don't work. Get the aluminium. Get the drugs. Especially if you're prone to body odor, get it. Or maybe you can buy him the deodorant, buy him some soap, burn his wash rag if he has a wash rag, or get him one. Because, you make it simple for him. But also just tell him straight, listen, babes, I don't like that. I love it when you smell fresh. I love borrowing my nose into your neck. I love when you smell like you've just come out the shower. That's probably a best way to put it. You've got to like positively affirm him, because he may take offense if you say he stinks straight up. So tell him, I love it when you smell fresh, when you've just come out the shower, and he will try to maintain that shower fresh smell. I'm sorry, honey. That's crazy, but good luck to you. Okay, thank you for getting in touch. Hi Anna, my friend didn't tell me that she got engaged. Jamie and I have been friends since school, and last week I got a phone call from Jamie's mum asking me to help her set up for the engagement party. I was confused and said that I didn't know anything about an engagement party. She then revealed that Jamie got engaged a week before and thought I knew. I explained that I didn't, but still agreed to help her mum set up. The engagement party is a few days away and I don't feel good about it. I've tried to rationalize it in my mind by thinking that maybe she was busy and forgot to tell me, but we've been friends for so long and talk all the time, so why wouldn't she tell me? I'm not sure what to do. Well, I think that's a perfectly reasonable feeling to feel. You feel hurt, you feel betrayed, you feel left out. If this is your long-term friend from school, you know everything about each other, you talk all the time, this is a big milestone in her life. Obviously you'd want to be included in that. And like, if I'm getting engaged, if I got engaged, the first people that I'm calling my family, and I'm calling my friends, my close friends, to let them know. And she's not included you in that moment. So like, my bitter heart is like, F that girl, you know. But the more mature version of me is like, maybe you need to have a conversation with her. You need to just call her or see her in person and be like, listen, I feel like I heard you got engaged. Why didn't you tell me? And then maybe she genuinely was busy. Maybe she forgot, or maybe she's just been, you know, in a whirlwind trying to get the party ready. So she hasn't really thought about you, which is really, really sad. Now that I'm saying it out loud. But, you know, these things can happen. I think it's a bit extreme. Like, if this is your long-term friend, she's definitely like one of the first 3 people that you call, in my opinion, and she's not done that. So yeah, I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, because maybe she has her own reasoning. On the other hand, I do think that maybe you do need some time away. I would hear from her first before you make your decision, but you are completely valid and right to feel the way that you feel. And if you don't want to, you know, help set up after feeling betrayed, then absolutely don't do that, because you're going to bring the vibe down on the day. You're just going to be in a bad mood on the day. So it seems like the mum is cool enough to talk to you and phone you, so it might be worth chatting to her, getting her opinion. But yeah, I don't know, that doesn't feel like a very friendly thing to do. But then again, you know, you just never know. So yeah, talk to your friend first. If she's not apologetic and trying to rectify it, then that's not your friend. Hi Anna, I saw your videos on finding a rich man and I absolutely loved them. Thank you. I am currently dating a wealthier man, but he doesn't know that I have student loans and multiple credit card debts that I haven't and can't afford to pay off yet. I look good, so he's none the wiser, but I feel like I'm living a lie. What should I do? Oh, well, damn. Listen, his money is your money, your money is your money. At this stage, I don't think he needs to know. I feel like he needs to know if you are thinking about spending your life together, if he's looking to marry you and then you will legally join assets and all of that stuff, then he needs to know. Because it affects him. When 2 become 1, it affects him. Your debt is now his debt. And ideally, if he is a wealthy person, he's probably not gonna want to bring debt onto his name. It sounds like he's generous from what I'm hearing. So I think as time goes on, maybe you can peel back the layers and mention that, maybe not say to him that you want him to pay off your debt, but maybe say like, oh, I really want to pay off my student loans. And like, everyone has student loans. I went to uni nearly 10 years ago. Do you think I've paid off that debt? The debt, the inflation, the what do you call that? The interest. The interest is interesting right now, right? I don't know when I'm going to pay off my student debt, but I do want to stress that everyone has debt. Everyone, unless your parents or you went straight into a job and you were able to just pay that off in the last couple of years. I know a lot of my friends who I went to uni with around the same time, we all still have student loans. You think I'm self-employed. I'm a creative. You think I'm going to pay off this debt? I don't know about that. I'm hoping that they wipe it clean or I earn enough and then I can just pay it off in one. But it's okay. Having debt is how you build credit. You pay it off in increments. You build trust with the banks and you pay it off, you pay it off, you pay it off. So maybe you need to get a higher earning income job so you can start paying off your debt in increments. Or if you're not about that life, then you need to slyly mention to him that, oh, I've got these debts I want to pay off before, let's say you want to buy a car or something or whatever. And you're like, oh, I've got these debts that I want to pay off first before I invest in something else. Make it sound smart. Make it sound like you're doing something with your life and you're making smart decisions. And from what you said, it sounds like he is generous. He's wealthy. If he's about it, he'll pay it off for you. Really and truly, men that have will do. And if he's invested in you and he's already providing for you and he, loves you and maybe sees a future with you, he will pay it off. However, I don't think you need to cry about it and make it seem like you're living a lie because everybody has debt. I don't know how much debt, credit card debt, that's a different thing. But I think you just maybe start being responsible in your own life, start paying it off bit by bit. If he knows that you're paying it off bit by bit and then he wants to support you and he's got the means to do so, he will do it. Like a real man should, like a real man would. Other than that, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's not his business. If he's a provider anyway, so whatever. You're fine. You'll be okay. All right, before we end the show, I want to talk about what I'm loving and leaving this week. So what I am loving this week, I am loving being active, like physically active. If you follow me on Insta, I've got a series called Getting It Together. I'm trying to get my body snatched before September, before my birthday. So I am really just enjoying waking up every day and moving my body, whether it's walking, cycling, home workout, gym. I'm really just loving being an active girly. That's what I'm loving now. And what I'm leaving behind not being consistent with this podcast. Okay? Onwards and upwards, my friend. This is just the beginning. Let me know what you are loving and leaving. Pop that in the comments. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of AM to PM. And I'll see you next week. Love ya. Mwah.